So I would like to welcome you here for this part of the panel, which will be about empowering employees. So digital transformation and how we can empower employees with digital transformation. And maybe let me first of all start with what I do. So I'm in charge of the digital transformation in Microsoft and for Microsoft, so basically internally. So this is really one of the topics which is of my passion topics. And when we talk about digital transformation, new technologies, as we've heard in the morning, one of the critical parts without which the technologies and digital transformation cannot succeed, it's all about people. So the digital transformation is driven by how people adopted the technologies. What's the behaviors, what are the habits, the behaviors within the companies, and how people actually work and leverage the technology. And you know, these days, companies are transforming. 75% of the companies have or are embarking on the journey of digital transformation. However, if we look at the studies, only 50% are successful. The rest of the 50% do struggle with digital transformation. And the sole reason is the culture and the behavior. So we're going back to people. And you know, if we look at what's the most significant barrier to digital effectiveness, it is again about behaviors, and it's about the culture and about people. So culture is truly the new currency. And also, you know, when we talk about people, the workplace is changing. There are new trends. By 2020, 75% of the people will be millennials in the workspace. 75% of the people will want to work in a different way. In 2020, 50% of the people will expect to have the opportunity to work 24/7 when they choose and from wherever they choose. 33% of people, even these days, are not working from the work premises, but they prefer to work from other places. So it's truly an opportunity to rethink how we're using technologies for empowering our employees to work in a new ways, to collaborate together better, to use modern data for insights and decision-making, to simplify processes, to implement new self-service processes for the employees, and also to really embrace the whole HR and people agenda. So today, we will be talking about very concrete examples how technology and implementing technology and leveraging technology can help the companies to empower the employees. And with that, I would like to invite to the stage two of the guests that we have today who will be talking about how they're driving the digital transformation with the people and in the companies, empowering their employees. So first of all, please let me invite Bogdan Horchidan, who's the head of service management and technology transformation lead in the Asahi Breweries Europe group.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here. Thank you, Jana, for providing me this opportunity to be in front of all these people. Thank you.
Thank you. So welcome. Bogdan is leading the technology transformation in the company with 7,400 employees. He's implementing new technologies truly end-to-end. So not only that technology part, but really focusing on true adoption by the end users. And just recently, he has migrated 4,200 users on a new platform within just 1 week, which I believe is amazing. And it will be great to hear how Bogdan has managed all of that. And with that, let me move to the second guest that we have for today. So I would like to invite Michal Novák.
Hello, everybody.
Michal Novák is the group head of staffing, HR intelligence, and HR operations in Home Credit Group.
Correct.
So welcome. Home Credit Group has more than 130,000 employees, if I'm not mistaken. And Michal is in charge of HR processes, HR systems, also people analytics. And he's leading the HR digital transformation within the group. And every single month, Michal hires 7,000 employees in the group, which is impressive.
With my team.
So, welcome both of you. First of all, when we were talking about empowering employees and using technology for empowering employees, let's first talk about Asahi and what you basically do, and if you can introduce Asahi Breweries Europe Group a little bit more for us, Bogdan.
Sure. Thank you very much, Jana, for the introduction, and I will just go directly into the subject. Yeah, who are we? Asahi Breweries Europe Group. Before actually starting with the company, it's more important what we are doing, and I think we are working. And I'm pleased to say that I'm working in one of the best industries in the world. Yeah, brewing, distributing, and selling beer. Yeah, so for myself, this is one of the best industry to work into. Yeah, still I'm an IT person. Yeah, and I like to do IT, and I like to help with technology our users to become much more, effective in their work. I will tell you today a little bit of a story. How did Microsoft and Microsoft Teams help us to do that? But before going there, I just want to give you a brief who we are and a little bit of history. But also a little bit of what are our brands, because our brand is what makes us. Yeah, beer is driven by brands, and we want to create nice moments. If Microsoft creates nice moments for you in the office with their technology, we want to create nice moments for you when you are out of the office and having a beer with your friends and colleagues and family. Yeah, so. Going a little bit in the history, we are part of the Asahi Group. Asahi is the biggest brewer in Japan. Was established in 1889 and became quite quickly the top brewer in Japan. These days they are doing more than beer. They are doing soft drinks. They are doing food and other beverages. In the late 2000s, they decided to go, above Japan. Yeah, so they wanted to extend globally. They started a little bit in Asia and Asia Pac. They went in US, but the biggest opportunity for them appeared when AB InBev purchased SAB Miller. Yeah, that was the top acquisition of in the food and beverage industry in the world so far. Yeah, more than 110 billion. As a transaction. So in that respect, AB InBev was forced to divest some of his European markets. Yeah, that happened in 2016 in order to get the regulation approval for the transaction. Asahi saw the opportunity and they acquired all the old SAB Miller European operations from AB InBev into benches. One first, Peroni Grolsch, meantime in UK, and the second, what it became now, Asahi Breweries Europe Group. Company in Czech, Slovakia, Poland, Romania, Hungary, and a small operation in South Korea. So that's about the history. I'll talk you a little bit about the brands in a second. But before going there, it's some facts about who we are. Yeah, we operate in 5 countries. We are really proud to say that we are #1 in all of these markets, with the exception of Slovakia, where we still own 37% of the market share, but we are very short to be #1. We are #2. We have 11 production sites, so 11 breweries, but we have over than 100 distribution sites and sales offices and such. We have 7,400 employees, which are our biggest asset in the company, and this is the reason we want to, provide them with the solution to empower them to collaborate more. We produce 33 million hectoliters of beer per year. And I have to say that in those 11 breweries, if we could produce more, we can sell more. Unfortunately, our production is somehow limited to the technologies and the capacities we have there. But our ability to grow and grow market share, it's out there. So if we can produce more, we will for sure sell more. Our brands are in over 60 markets in the world. Yeah, not only in these 5 operating markets, but you can go and have a Pilsner Urquell or an Asahi Super Dry from America to South Africa to Australia to Japan to South Korea. And I have to say, the experience of you having one of our brands in these markets is the same everywhere you go. We are really proud to own some of the greatest brands that you are seeing here. Asahi Super Dry from Japan. You know, I'm hoping very well all the Czech brands in here. Pilsner Urquell, we are the proud owner of the father of golden lager in the world. The first golden lager in the world was Pilsner Urquell, and we are proud to say that we are brewing exactly in the same recipe, in the same way as we brewed the first Pilsner Urquell in 1842. If you have a Pilsner Urquell in Japan or in South Africa, just need to know that bottle of beer is brewed in the Pilsen brewery. Nowhere in the world you can brew Pilsner Urquell other than Czech Republic. Of course, other brands, if you go to any of the markets that is there or anywhere in the world and you want to enjoy a beer, we are proud to say that we have very good brands. Kozel is out there, Birel, Šariš in Slovakia, Lehen and Tichy in Poland, Timișoara, Ursus in Romania, or Dreher or Kobani in Hungary. The brands, our brands, is its second most valuable asset in the company, second to our employees and to our people. And with that being said, I would like to hand over now back to Jana. If there will be any questions regarding Asahi or you want to know a little bit more about beer industry, get in contact with me. I will be more than happy to share. I mean, I said to Jana, I can speak like for the entire presentation, not only about beer. But if you are interested, more than happy. Hopefully, over a beer, we can share more thoughts and information. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Bogdan. As you can see, I mentioned that Bogdan primarily does IT, but I believe you're a great brand and beer ambassador because the passion is really apparent. And with that, let me move over to Michal. So over to you and to the HomeCo group.
Thank you very much for word. I'm glad that I'm sitting with an IT person. Being an HR person, sitting together on a stage with an IT guy, for me it's a pleasure because we will both talk about employee engagement. Bogdan will speak about in a little different way than me. Today I would like to show you Power BI and our implementation in the whole HomeCo group and how you as business can benefit from that and learn our lessons learned. I will not speak about HomeCo that much because probably all of you know HomeCo. HomeCo in Czech Republic doesn't have that sounding name, but in Asia we done much better job than in Europe, and that's where we, I believe, are so successful.
So now, maybe if we can go back to Asahi, and I would say, it's amazing to have examples from these two great companies and to see the passion both for the beer and also for the finance. So it's amazing. But maybe Bogdan, so you implemented a new platform that really helped to transform the way that employees collaborate, that people work together. And as I mentioned before, you managed to migrate 4,200 users within just 1 week. So what was the project about? Could you share with us a little bit more?
Sure. It will be my pleasure. I will talk to you today briefly about our project to enhance collaboration with the use of Microsoft Office 365. Before I start with the project, I just want to maybe a couple of seconds set up the scene. Yeah, remember in 2017, we have been starting to be part of the new Asahi family. Yeah? So there was a transaction between ABI and Asahi. They have been separated from the previous company, and we have created a completely new company as part of the Asahi group. During that transaction, we have earned some technology, some solutions, some services, IT services from the previous owner, which doesn't necessarily were so optimal, or they were helping us towards our business strategy and goals. Yeah. So in that respect, we have decided to embark ourselves in a IT optimization transformation journey for 3 years, with the aim to reduce the IT spend and be in the line with the benchmark on the market, but also to provide new technology and services and digital capabilities to our employees and help us to collaborate better internally, but not only internally with our employees, but also with our partners and with our consumer outside. So in that respect, we have created what was called IT Optimization Transformation Program, which I'm part of, and I'm leading the technology transformation stream of that program. Technology transformation is more or less aiming into not only saving costs, but making sure that the overall IT asset that will end up after this 3 years journey will be fit for purpose and will support our business strategy. Yeah? And that will create value for our employees and for our shareholders and for our consumers. So it's not only cutting costs and reducing demand, but it's also providing new and insightful solution to our users. So our scope in the project is to cost optimization first of all, but as I mentioned, digital and technology transformation in order to enable our users to better collaborate. We want to create what we call a community of practices, yeah? Because previously in SAP Miller, we were 185 countries, 5 continents, yeah, more than 55,000 users. It was very hard to collaborate with the people in Zambia or with the people in South Korea or with the people in, in Bogota in Colombia. Now we are smaller in size. Yeah, we are in Central Eastern Europe. We want to make our brands be more global. In that respect, we need to collaborate more. We need to create this center of excellence, more or less. Yeah, to share information internally, to make a connection between our sales and marketing department and our production environment. Yeah. So in that respect, we need to choose solution to help that. Yeah, of course, we need to. Our strategy is to utilize strategic partners. Yeah, that we have built a good relationship during the years. Of course, security and compliance is very important to us, and of course, quality of services provided to the users are very important to us, and is core of our IT business. So. With all of that, the decision was simple, just to go to Microsoft Office 365 solution. And we started the implementation just after the separation in April 2017. Since then, almost 2 years passed, and we have managed to achieve a lot of good things with Office 365. Just a brief example what the project was about, what we have achieved, and what will be our plans moving forward. Exchange Online, everybody knows what Exchange Online is and what benefits can provide it. We managed to migrate all our 7,400 users in less than 6 weeks. That is not something unseen on the market. But the challenge that we had is we brew and sell beer. Our 70% of revenue, it's seasonable. Yeah, it's done between May and September. If you are screwing up this season, then you are screwing up a lot of the revenue and a lot of the profit for the company. Yeah? Nobody cares about February months or November months because beer sales in those months is very low comparing with June, July, August. We managed to migrate these users to Exchange Online in these 6 weeks in August, yeah, during July and August, without any kind of user impact, without any kind of downtime to the users. And that created a very good experience for the users and for the company. And with that we just put the foundation to go and implement the rest of the solution we have. And now the business trusted that we can deliver those quickly without business impact and creative value in the same time. Then we move over to Microsoft Teams and decided to scrap all our conferencing services and IMMP services that we have with other provider. And we managed to go in November 2017, migrating 2,400 users roughly overnight, yeah, in a weekend. We used one week to stabilize the system, but there were no major drawbacks. And since then, the collaboration between our employees have just tripled, even more than that, as we see. And we'll see a little bit later. Of course, we stabilized our Yammer implementation. We have a big user of Yammer in Poland, and I'll talk a little bit about how we use Yammer for our employees' benefit and collaboration. And now we are moving towards OneDrive and SharePoint consolidation. What's important for us, or what was important? Of course, you need to have a sound technology delivery. Yeah? You need to be very good at delivering those projects, otherwise the impact will be big. But it's important to have a targeted communication and adoption campaign to the user. And because email is simple. Email I'm using today, I'm using tomorrow. Microsoft Teams is completely new, at least for our company was completely new. And we had to spend some time with the help of Microsoft and Microsoft partners to build these business scenarios where we went to the user, instead of giving them, this is Microsoft Teams, this is what you can do with it, go and play. We went there and built with them some business scenario, how can we help you? And we teach them and we provide them training, especially on that business scenario. Yeah? How do you conduct a meeting? How do you call one-to-one? How do you do your team meeting in such? How can you involve partners in a team so you can collaborate with them better and so on and so forth? So we delivered that, and that was the key of our success and the key of our business value adding in the company. As I promised, some examples very briefly because of the time. The first one is using of Yammer. Yeah, we use Yammer in Poland. We have 2,400 users roughly that use day-to-day Yammer. Yeah, we use it for internal communication, HR posting jobs, new jobs on Yammer, notifications sent to the users. People have Yammer on their phone when they are traveling. They can see notification. They can collaborate. They can send picture and such. But further to that, and it's a great story. We put Yammer in there because we had it in the SAP Miller. We didn't pay too much attention to it. And we let business to drive with it for 2 years. Yeah. You know what? We just realized these days, because Jana asked me to give an example, and I use that Yammer. We realized that we have over 40 applications developed on Yammer, which IT has very little knowledge about. Yeah? The business have gained the opportunity to use it and tweak it as they need. One example is our Oxygen application. We use that to empower our salespeople in Poland. So more or less what's happening, we gave them a theme and say, by the way, this month you need to Kozel, it's a big campaign of Kozel, yeah, you'll go there and do all the marketing, merchandise and trade marketing activities. You take a picture, you post it in Yammer. And then based on the comments, the likes in Yammer, the number of views and such, the Oxygen application is making a top. And the top 3 people that have been classified by this application, I told you it's not a voting kind of system, but it's a little bit more complex algorithm behind that, then those 3 people will receive either a better use of a better car or maybe a holiday for that quarter or maybe additional leave days or so on and so forth. And this is very powerful because if you measure behind that in the business, you'll see that your presence on the shelf increases with over 40% during these kind of campaigns because people are more interested to make sure that our brands are visible, to make sure that our consumers see our brands as we want them to see. Yeah? And then in the end, they know that there will be a personal gain if they do their job. Second example is, we said we're using Teams. Now we are deploying OneDrive and SharePoint facilities to the rest of the people. We created in the business these champions and people that help us with the adoption. Now we're using them as pilot for OneDrive. We're using Teams, we invited them to a channel, and we're using Microsoft Forms in order to collect feedback regarding what issues they have when we deploy OneDrive to them. Yeah? So we create a simple form. It's automatically translated to all our languages. People will just go there, do the testing that have been provided. They will go fill the form, just click send. And then we have all the information regarding major issues, minor issues, nice to have kind of things in one place, and we know how to fix that and how to implement them before we go the mass rollout. And it's a simple use of Teams, but in that same time, we create the awareness about what this solution can do for the people. You know, so that's a very great example that where Microsoft team helped us to. I told you to even deploy more other technologies to the people. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Bogdan, for sharing that. And I think it's a great example with how you can utilize Yammer and also how you can focus on really employees adopting the technology with what you mentioned, ambassadors and real use cases that you're working with. What are some of the benefits that you truly see with that whole transformation that you've embarked on?
Okay, so if you remember my first slide, yeah, we had a scope, yeah, in mind, and one of the most important thing, the top one on there, was the IT cost optimization. We have a big challenge around that for the 3 years. Only by implementing what we have implemented so far, without going into OneDrive and SharePoint, we managed to reduce the overall running cost of IT with almost 1 million, yeah, on a yearly basis. And that is purely because, we are able to optimize the number of servers and the storage that we have. We managed to, take some of the people that were taking care of those servers and regular maintenance and such, and put them and focus them towards more business added value, yeah, towards that capacity centers and helping business in those a community of practice, also having somebody from IT to show them things so they can develop even further. Yeah, we increased the service availability to our users from 99.5 to 99.9. You'll say it's not much, but if you count it, it's actually 25 hours a year. Yeah, 25 hours a year means 1 day for our user not being able to have the services. Yeah, so at 7,400 users is a big productivity increase. Yeah, it's only for those 0.5% availability. What we see now, we see that we start reducing the travel costs for having the new conferencing services in. We see that we are starting to reduce the international calls because I can use Teams to do one-to-one calls and such. And we are actually now realizing that there are other benefits in there, and we are thinking to start measuring them and then see exactly what other benefits is the technology bringing to the business.
Thank you very much. And now maybe moving over to you, Michal. So you have a story to share with us as well of the project. And it's slightly different because you are truly looking into how to use data and insights into managing your big HR agenda. And as we mentioned in the beginning, hiring 7,000 of employees on a monthly basis. So it's quite impressive. So if you could share a little bit more with us.
Basically, we started with why. Why implement things like Power BI and so on and so on. The problem is that if you have a company, 200 people sitting in HQ Prague at EPPF Gate, you basically are blind in countries. In China, we have 50,000 people, and if you make a small mistake, then you hire easily 1,000 people to places where you didn't want to have them. 1,000 happened to us many times, and really happened. I was traveling. I'm there every half a year for 14 days, and realized that people in Asia don't know how to work with Excel much. Even people who claim themselves analysts, they are really not an analyst. Even my wife is better in an Excel than some people in Asia working in home credit in analyst department. So what I could easily observe is that I would like to get rid of Excel completely from the company. We have quite strong IT team, but basically we somehow, for some special reasons, didn't let them involve into Power BI implementation. We asked some consultation companies who are always coming to our company headquarters trying to sell us something. We tried with few consultancy companies that were claiming, yes, we can implement it everywhere, because my vision was really get rid of Excels for every employee, even the single smallest one, the smallest junior in wherever. In Indonesia, and these consultancy companies, were claiming we can do that. They tried, they failed. Another company tried, failed, and always China is a big problem, as our Chinese colleagues say, Great Internet Wall of China. And not many tools can go through that. We opened the discussion basically with Microsoft. Microsoft again came to us, tried to sell us some product, and we said, look guys, not interested. We already have what you are offering to us. But we have a problem here. We can't break the Great Internet Wall of China. Can you make it? And they said during the first meeting, just download this application, Power BI, and we'll show you that. So I downloaded using 365 account, and I just had the application already installed in my phone. And basically could see inside with no need to log in with a different password and so on and so on. That was super cool. I said, okay, if you can make it in China, then you are and then you are in the company. And basically, they did it. They broke the Great Internet Wall of China, and basically this is exactly the answer for why. We did it for employees' engagement, because we believe that having engaged employees is really a way how they can think about create better products for our clients. I am having always the benchmark, Chinese benchmark. If we look at Czech market, if you want to transfer money from one bank account to another bank account, takes 1 day. If you are lucky, then maybe less. In China, it takes 1 second. And this is exactly what is my benchmark for me in all countries, including Czech. And basically, why we care about employees? It's about we want every employee is a brand ambassador, which makes us drive the business better, and it is about the business results.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. I think it is great. You know, at the same time, when I look at Power BI, it's typically the tool that is very much used, you know, by business. Now you're using it in HR. So basically, you know, how you came to that decision and what are some of the benefits that you see?
Okay, I thought that the business is already, you know, better than HR, but I was wrong. HR was the first in the HomeCredit group who used Power BI. And then we basically, when I'm traveling across the countries, I show to our CEOs basically Power BI. I just tell him, look, this is my iPhone, my personal iPhone. Do you want to see your HR data on this? And he says yes. And say, I will not give it to you. Just download it, log in with your account, and you will see it. This is data from Kazakhstan, where we implemented Power BI exactly two months ago. Basically, I showed how just a simple example on HR data, how the business can benefit from that. And you can clearly see that before Power BI, daily we spent 40 hours on creating reports. And after implementation of Power BI, it just takes 5. And you can see the amount of man days that we really save in Kazakhstan, which is not our biggest country. This is just 6,000 employees. We are implementing everywhere. And if I look at other countries like Indonesia, India, that are double, triple, 10 times bigger, then this is an impact. And basically, we are rolling it, HR teams are rolling it through the whole company, including sales, including even IT, gets hooked by the example of HR. And basically, this is another HR slide I want to share with you that is saving basically over 90% of our capacities. And this is exactly when we are getting rid of Excels, replacing them with Power BI, and the energy that people spend on creating the dashboards in Excels and then sharing them with managers that needed to, you know, through some macros and some filters, look at the data that doesn't, to be honest, make much sense if you don't have multi-filtering there. Then this is what made our life much easier in this respect.
Thank you very much for sharing that. And it's great how you mentioned that you're also working on the adoption of the tools. So basically telling people to use the tool straight away if they want to see the data. Yes. So it's great to hear that. Maybe Bogdan, over to you. You know, you were talking about the implementation and the changes in terms people work together and they collaborate. At the same time, you might have some of the more traditional employees and users within your company. So what are some of the benefits that you see and how you overcame that adoption with those users?
Yeah, I mean, in the beer industry, you know, you have people that are working heavily on the production line, so you don't expect them they being a very, IT-friendly type of users. Yeah, they are usually going on the production line. They brew beer. They make sure that the beer gets into the bottle. They make sure that the beer gets into the warehouse. Their interaction with IT is minimal, and then that poses a different challenge. You know, how do you train them? How do you make them more IT-friendly on how to use a computer, how to use a mouse, before how to make them use email or Microsoft Teams? Yeah. So what we have done, we have looked at different groups of people that we have across our business, and we tailor that adoption to their needs. Yeah, one is the need of our key executives and their secretaries. Yeah, where we have had, with the help of Microsoft, targeted training and targeted campaign for them specifically. Then we look at the people in the head office and the people in the regional team, and then we have a specific training for them. Again, as I mentioned before, looking at the business scenario rather than this is the tool, click here, click there, because they will leave the meeting room and they will not remember where to click. If you tell them why and how that flow will go, then they will have a better chance to remember. Yeah. And then we segment this user in different categories and address them separately. And that was one of the key of our success. But further than that, we haven't stopped there, because if you do it once, the people will know it, but then in a week time, if they don't use it, they forget about it. Yeah. So you follow up with how do you call it? I have a lapsus. Sorry for that. Yeah. You go there and put a survey. Put a survey up, and they will tell you what are the more burning issues. And then you go back again, and you're focusing only on those burning issues. Yeah. And you never stop, frankly speaking, because they will learn to do new things that you haven't teach them to do, and they will have questions about that. And in the next survey, they will question you. Oh, okay. So what about this? What about the other one? And you will need to continue over and over and over again until you'll have your employees being self-sufficient, as we have them in Poland with Yammer, for example. Yeah, and that's more or less how do we try to approach that. Benefits we see, yeah, it's better meeting quality at this moment in time, and it's not only during the meeting but after the meeting. Yeah, people don't need to spend a lot of time to do minutes of meeting afterwards. Yeah, or document the decision, because it's everything in there in Teams. They can share it, they can send it to everyone immediately. They don't need to spend half an hour to an hour to put that in a Word document and share it to everyone. People can co-edit the document at the same time, so the decision-making time is reduced for us, yeah, because purely you don't need to send it over email. I look at it and then I send it to you, and then you send it to the other one. Everybody can work on that immediately, and then the decision-maker will have the information to him to take a decision much, much faster, yeah. And also we see that we can onboard better new employees, because they have a single set of tools, yeah? There is a single set of training that they can see. They will learn about Microsoft and the products rather than learn Microsoft, Cisco, SAP, that, and the other. And then we offer new technologies to our new employees, and it's easier to attract better talents, especially in the sales and marketing area where people are more technology focused, yeah? Because if you are an employee came and you give them an old laptop with an old operating system and probably, no email at the first 3 days because it's very hard to set it up, then the word will spread on the market and it will be very hard to attract new talents. Now, you gave them new fancy technology and they can have everything on their mobile phone. Now it's much more attractive on the market for the people to join you, yeah? And on this Central Eastern Europe, you know that it's very hard to get new talents these days. Especially in sales marketing, trade marketing area where we really need them. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And it's great how you see about, and how you think about technology really connected with that people agenda, because that's exactly what we're talking about. Maybe now over, Michal, to you, what are some of the benefits? How are you using the tools and what you see that can really drive the change and the impact?
Okay, I'll maybe show you a little demo on my computer, just a few clicks. Don't worry, I will not bother you with too many things. This is my Power BI account, which is there.
And if we can please switch to the demo.
Yes, this is basically the home grade group HR in numbers. There was a previous discussion. There was basically a question: which alarm clocks in a cockpit you would like to see? And my answer with Power BI is basically you select your own alarm clocks. What I like here is that you can connect more than 60 different data sources, and we are doing that as well. You can have a look at here that we are also measuring the NPS for employees and managers NPS and team NPS, and this is how we are driving the change, not for customers, but internally. How it helps us as well is basically we created the attrition calculators. Believe or not, we have 95% attrition in China. So basically we rotate a whole 60,000 employees in a year, and it costs a lot of money. But unless we were able to visualize it this way, where we put, this is only sales network, this is not the whole China, this is only for 40,000 employees, that if we would have not 95% attrition, but only 71, we would be able to save 37 million euro. And if I basically go down, for example, to 37, where we have, for example, Philippines today, we would be able to save 85 million euro. And if you look at the whole home grade group, which in the last year had a profit of 420 million euro, you can clearly see how this is convincing to our business. So basically, whatever we do in the business, we are trying to connect it, measure it, connect it. And this is, for example, a Chinese example, how we look at different things. This is, for example, for some district managers. I can have a look at anybody, and what I do is I am putting HR data together and next to business data, and in connection to that, we are also able to have a look at. We are also connecting with Power BI GDP growth, consumption of a gas, for example, in Beijing, everything you can imagine to be able to predict the future. So if we see in companies, in energetical companies in China, the consumption of gas is decreasing, then we probably need to stop hiring people because there will be, let's say, a little freeze of the economy and so on and so on. So this is what I would like to share with you. This is nothing complicated. And if I see the speed how the Asian countries are doing things, implementing, then it's incredible. And I only believe and wish that Czech Republic becomes faster and faster in implementing all these tools and innovations.
Thank you very much. And I think with that, because our time is pretty much up, so I would like to thank Michal and Bogdan for sharing their stories and their projects that they are implementing within their companies. I think we've had great examples on how technology can really empower employees, drive better collaboration and teamwork, and even implementing new technologies within the high season and with a very risky period of the year. And also a really great example on how data and building insights can truly change and transform not only the HR agenda and HR part, but also inspire business how to embark on that journey. So I would like to thank you again very much to Michal and Bogdan for your great stories. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.